Hi everyone, and welcome to Scratch's first TikTok live, believe it or not. This is our first time trying it, and we hope that you will love us doing it on this platform. Now today, if you have seen our September issue, which is available to read for free online, then you will have seen our article on neurodiversity in the nail space. Now, it was a really fascinating feature that I put together about different techs experiences, and one of them is going to be joining us today, which we can't wait for. It is no other than Danielle Brindley. Now, she didn't just win once in the Scratch Stars Awards 2024. She won 2 awards, and she's also a Glitterbells educator. So will be joining us from the Glitterbells account today to talk all about her experiences of neurodiversity. So let's hopefully add her in.
Can you see me?
I can't see you, no.
You can hear me. Oh, there you go.
Do you know what? It's our first time on TikTok where it's all new. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you. You?
I'm good, thank you. It's so nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here, but I'm a bit nervous. So
Why are you nervous? Don't be nervous.
To you.
Oh,
It just pretend like it's me and you in the room.
it is just me and you, sort of. And I've also got to thank you as well for sharing some brilliant advice in our September issue about neurodiversity. It was fantastic.
Thank you. I'm really glad that you read it and understood what I was trying to say. Because I was in a caravan at the time and I was trying to write it down because it was really important to me, and then I just thought, I'm going to send you this and you're not going to have a clue what I'm talking about, but you did, and like you use a lot of it, so thank you. And it's nice that it's important and that you're covering it.
Absolutely. Is yours coming up as like lots of different spaces? Because it's coming up for me.
Yeah, like 9.
Yeah, I don't know how to sort that out. Oh, I've done something. I'm not sure what.
I don't think I like it.
Oh, this is very odd. Not sure how we change that.
I'll just go with it.
Yeah, might have to. I can't see how to sort it. But anyway, let's start from the beginning, shall we? And you tell us, for those that don't know, what neurodiversity is.
Okay, well, I feel like this is like a really important and big question, and it's difficult to cover in just like without being some kind of a doctor or specialist. But it describes people whose brains develop and work differently, basically. So people who are neurodivergent can have different strengths, but also different struggles. Yeah. Some people can have a specific diagnosis, and some people can just have lots of symptoms or struggles or strengths that points towards the neurodivergence rather than a specific diagnosis.
Yeah.
So it can cover things like, I think it covers, I know you said it covers dyslexia, ADHD, Asperger's, autism, I suppose dyscalculia. I don't know if it covers dyspraxia. It's like, because everything kind of merges. Some things are under the mental health umbrella, some things are under the neurodivergent umbrella, but then everything crosses over as well. So it covers so many different things.
That's the thing. And as I found out doing this feature, everyone's experiences are so different with neurodiversity, and it really has different impacts.
Yeah, it does. For me, without like it's giving me goosebumps thinking about it now, actually, without getting emotional. But for me, it really impacted on my mental health and my confidence and self-esteem, because I could see that I was struggling and with aspects of life, but I wasn't sure what it was that I was struggling with. Like for my exams, I had to record all of my exercise books into a cassette player because I am that old, and listen back to it over and over and over again whilst I was sleeping. And then I had to be hypnotised for my exams as well, because I was so stressed and I couldn't take the information in. So I'm not good in like with memory tasks, but then I'm good with coursework and things like that. So yeah, it's been, I think a lot of women now are getting diagnosed with ADHD and different struggles, where I think we might have put it down to hormonal things and things like that. I know that's what the doctors did with me. And I think it's good that it's been recognised, and it's good that people are talking about it, because the world is full of everybody that are different. Like, it'd be boring if we were all the same. And I think it's good that there's loads of people that are doing amazing things with neurodivergence, isn't there? So it just means that we might think slightly differently, which is what you need to develop. So,
yeah, definitely.
But I can't remember what your question was, so you have to keep me on track, because that is one of the things I can't remember. I'll go off on a tangent.
No, I love that. So tell us about sort of your journey with neurodiversity, sort of when you got diagnosed, and then how that's maybe affected your nail career.
Okay. So I got diagnosed, I think, when my little boy was about, well, he was maybe 6 months, something like that. I started a pursuit of getting a diagnosis. So I'd already had like a diagnosis of, I feel like this is overshown. But you know, like social anxiety, depression, generalized anxiety disorder, chronic, like ongoing low mood, period issues with like moods and stuff like that. But what it all came down to was actually the ADHD.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. So, and then when you go and see a doctor, and they're saying, well, you're doing really well because you're working, you've got a mortgage, you're raising a child, you know, you don't look like you're struggling, but you know inside you're struggling. So just getting that across is a massive thing in itself. So then I ended up getting diagnosed with ADHD. And I think, in a way, you kind of grieve the life that you could have had if you understood what was going on with it before. But now I'm just grateful that I can understand what's going on with me and put things in place to help me. And my little boy's just been diagnosed as well with ADHD, because it is a genetic thing. So I can understand him as well now, so I can help him for the future. I can understand when he's getting frustrated, and I can also like see how magical he is as well. Makes me, I'm just proud. So yeah, I don't think I'd take it away from me, because I don't think I'd be the same person without it. But it's just, it's been difficult. So with the nail career, I think it's affected confidence. I don't think I would probably be doing nails if it wasn't for ADHD, because I've gone from job to job to job and then got bored. So I get bored really easily. I need to be constantly challenged, and I think the nail industry is constantly challenging. It's forever growing. The technology's growing. The art side's growing. Like, you can never get bored. So that's why I love the beauty industry. And like, we're all creative, and I've met so many other nail techs that are neurodivergent. I really hate saying that word. Sorry, it's like a tongue twister, isn't it? So you kind of feel like you're in a community of people that are creative, and yes, I think the nail industry has pushed me in ways that I would never have pushed myself before, and given me, I wouldn't say confidence, but it's like it's given me more bits of confidence. But yeah, there's so many struggles that you can come across in the nail industry, like being a self-employed person, because you run a business, and overwhelm is a big thing, and then time management skills and organisation and impulsivity. Like, you can just want to buy the whole range of everything, and then you're like, oh my god, what have I done? Or you're like fixated on specific nail trends, or you just don't want to say no to people because you want to please everybody, or you get a photograph of a nail come through that's broken and you think you're the worst nail tech in the world because of rejection sensitive dysphoria. So you're like overly you overly react to people's maybe slightly negative things.
Yeah.
Probably a really bad description, I'm sorry.
No, definitely. And I mean, when I was doing the article, that they are some of the key things that kept coming up. And I think it's things that, you know, other people just take for granted and just get on with. And it can actually be a really, real struggle for you.
Yeah. I can remember somebody just saying to me in one of my first jobs doing nails, just look at the design, choose the colours, get the colours and do the design. And I'm like, oh my God, how is it that easy? Because I'm just thinking, like, it's just like we've got a million other things going on. And then with different conversations as well. So if you're in a room with different conversations going on and you've got like music. I know one of the questions at the Scratch competition this year was something like, how do you help customers that are overstimulated? Or can you remember what the question was?
Yeah, it was something like that, along them lines.
Yeah, and it's like things that you don't even think about, like the sound of other people talking and the radio and the beeping on your lamp and the extractor fan and maybe the next door neighbours, all of that can be completely... And nobody else, like my husband's like, what's up with you? And I'm like, I can't cope with the sound of you breathing today. He says, you know that Friends episode where Rachel's hormonal? That's what I'm like all the time.
Oh, and so does that change from day to day then? Is sort of what may trigger you?
I think, so definitely periods and your menstrual cycle affect ADHD. I can't talk for all neurodiversities, but we definitely do. I think for me, like I thought, you know, coming to London for me and doing the Scratch thing was like the biggest thing ever. I was so terrified. I thought I would hate London because I thought I'd be completely overstimulated. Whereas I felt like being in London, everything's going at the same pace as what my mind's going at. So I kind of feel calm.
Yeah.
It's really weird. But then I do love being around nature as well. I just think sometimes it's like lots of different things are coming at you from every different angle, and one thing can just send you.
Yeah.
It feels too much. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty controlled now with medication and things like that. So for me, I feel like I'm in a really good position.
Yeah.
I'm aware of myself. I'm in an amazing position with my job and stuff. I'm surrounded by people that make me feel valued, and I think that's good. I'm in a good relationship because all of that impacts on your mental health anyway, doesn't it? So
definitely. And so if, obviously know from your experiences what it can be like, if you had an employee or staff member or client and you saw them getting overwhelmed and feeling triggered, sort of what would you say that a nail tech should do in that situation from your experience?
Some of it is recognising it. So you could have someone who's particularly picky about what you're putting on the nails. Now that might be because you've got OCD.
Yeah.
Or they might come in and they've chewed the fingers and you're saying you've not been using cuticle oil. Well, it might just be because they're impulsively pecking at the fingers. Or they might struggle to sit still. But that might not be because they're trying to annoy you. It might just be that they physically can't sit still for that amount of time. So like recognising, like I used to have somebody and she couldn't sit still. So if she asked me for a design that I knew she wouldn't be able to sit for, I'd say, well, we can do something similar to that, but I don't think you're going to be comfortable sitting for that amount of time. Or, for example, I've got a lady at the moment, and in between, I think we put this in the article, but, you know, as I've just finished doing the prep, and I'm going to go and grab all my other bits, I'll just say to her, have a little wander around if you want to, stretch your legs. Do you know, just to... Or even like if you don't feel like talking, if you're having a bit of a rubbish day, don't feel like you're under any pressure to talk to me. If you want to just go on your phone and just chill, do whatever makes you comfortable. I did say as well, I don't know if to put this in, sorry, I have read the article. So bad memory. That's one of the other things. But, you know, for me, I want to know the answer to every question. I want to try and preempt everything that's coming up. So even if you've got somebody new and you're asking loads of questions, and it can sometimes feel like it's a lot, but it might be because they're suffering with anxiety. Like, I know that's not a neurodivergence, but anxiety and depression. It's all crosses over, doesn't it? Like, I've had students sitting outside in the car because they're too worried, like the building themselves up coming in. I think just being a friendly face and being approachable, being open, so that they feel comfortable to talk to you. That makes a massive difference if somebody feels comfortable with you. So then they can say, actually, I really struggle with this bit. Like, I used to have somebody, she got really high hypernicum. It was nothing to do with neurodivergence, but it was like we were arm wrestling every time I was filing her fingers, but I knew it was just because it felt uncomfortable for her.
Yeah.
Just being aware of that, I think, makes your customer feel like special and heard. And also, like, if it's the people that you're working with or the people that are working for you or whatever, they're important. Your staff are going to work better if they're happy and if they're mentally doing well, aren't they? And if they feel important. And if you're taking on board that something bothers them, then that's just going to help them work better.
Yeah. Just being a bit aware, isn't it? And I know neurodivergent, it's a bit ironic really, because divergent means different, or neurodiverse means different, but actually you know what I mean? We need to just treat everyone the same.
Yeah. We're all a bit different, aren't we, from one day to the next? So I think it's just being aware, yeah. And there is I read in your article, I think it was last month, Scratch, 50% of nail tech or people in the beauty industry recognise themselves as neurodivergent. Well, that's massive, isn't it?
Huge, yeah.
So you're asking why we should, why it's important. Well, it's important because that's 50% of the people that you're going to come into contact with. It's crazy, really.
It really is. And so what are some, as you've gone throughout your nail career and you sort of said you've got to a good point now that you feel like you're on top of things a bit, what are some things that have sort of helped you throughout your journey?
I think you have to have boundaries. You have to say no and not take on everything. Not work all the hours under the sun just because you're scared of saying no. And know that you do need that work-life balance for your own mental health, because you will burn out eventually otherwise. And then you become resentful towards your job where you want to be busy, but then you're busy, so you're overwhelmed. So it's just like just having a balance and checking in with yourself, giving yourself permission to take some time out, and looking at what you're working for and what it is that makes you happy. And because otherwise you get like kind of in this vicious circle where you're working to get paid, you work to get paid, and you're like, well, you're getting money, but what are you spending it on if you're not spending it with your family and the people that you love? So what is actually important to you? Surround yourself with good people. That's definitely right, because if you don't surround yourself with the right people, then that's going to affect you. So what was the question?
And understanding people, I was going to say, like you were saying before. So sort of what's helped you throughout your journey in the nail industry, sort of with your neurodiversity?
Food consistency is a good one, I think. Although it's not good for people who don't like to use food consistency, but I think, because organisation is tricky. Like, I've got about 10 million diaries, but you get one and you're like, I'm really going to get organised now. And then you don't. So, yeah, learning how to get organised.
I guess as well, you've got to learn a different way to be organised. I guess, it's the same as like learning, I guess, isn't it? Not every sort of learning technique works for every person.
Yeah. So I saw a counsellor, I think he was like a CBT counsellor, and they've got this box and they've got what's urgent and important, what's important and what's not important or urgent. So if you put something in one of them categories and then you do the urgent first, then you do the urgent and important, then you do the urgent, then you do, you know, and that helps because then you're like, because there's the, what's it called? Overwhelm paralysis, where you just sit and you know you've got a million things to do, and it's like you can't do anything because you've got too many things you've got going on. So that is a good way of prioritising the things that you need to do. Obviously, things like you've got to be organised if you're running your own business with your accounts and things like that. And like the thing is with ADHD is you're only motivated when it's like the last minute because you get that dopamine thing when it's like it needs to be in now. So another good thing is I've noticed if you give yourself a little treat, if you've got a bad job that you've got to do, if I give myself a treat, or even if I just swap jobs, so say I'll do an hour of organising that and then I'm going to swap over to doing this, just the change in activity gives you the attention back again, so then you can go back to it after. So that's really helpful.
So we've had Hannah of Broad Brush. So she was obviously one of our finalists in the Scratch Stars Awards. She said, I find getting inquiries overwhelming. I want them, but my brain struggles to not get overwhelmed. And I guess, you know what I mean? That's really quite common.
It's like we want people, but then when we've got people, we're like, oh my God, there's too many people. So I think if you've got a list of pre-written down questions, like an automated response, that then you can send to that person, because otherwise it's going to be like that. So what nails do you want? I want some gel nails, but then you're like, well, do you want them longer? Because some people don't know that the gel nails are. So if you can cover every single question first and get them to answer it, then you're not going to be going back and forth and back, because that's the overwhelming thing, is not that you answer the one question, it's that you're getting 5 more back.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of preempt the questions, I think that is a really good way of doing it. Have some examples of your work so you can say, you know, or even the length and shape, and it just, even silly questions like, have you got something on your nails already that you know you need to answer, but they don't know that they need to answer that.
Yeah.
Or like, people say, have you got any availability for my nails? I'm like, I don't know, when are you free? And then I finish work at 5 o'clock and you'll be like, yeah, but where do you work? You could work in like 3 hours away. So just asking as many questions as possible, but you could do that on like a Word document, couldn't you, and send that out straight away as your automated response. Thanks so much for getting in touch. If you could answer these questions and I'll get back to you with as much information as you need, would hopefully help, I would say.
Yeah. That's some fantastic advice. I love that. Just makes it a little bit less overwhelming, I guess.
Yeah. And then they'll know what answers they need to give you, because they might have never even had the nails done before, might they?
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. So let's talk a bit about Scratch Stars, because obviously you did so well this year, got 2 awards. How has it been? How does it feel?
Right, this is the neurodivergence, right? So now I'm still, so before when I won one, I was like, I think it was a fluke. I don't know if like, I don't know, it just didn't feel real. So now I know it should feel real, but it still doesn't feel real. It's like imposter syndrome, isn't it? So I'm like, I know I've got them and nobody can take them off me. And it feels like it's so nice. But still, I'm constantly like, I've got to do better. So it's amazing. It feels like a massive achievement. I feel really, really proud. I feel proud that I've made other people proud as well. And I'm proud of myself for doing it. But also I'm like, yeah, it just doesn't seem real. Maybe you can put them on the fireplace.
It's so well deserved, though. You did so well, and it was so nice to see you at the awards. Really.
I always love seeing you.
Oh, I could tell you felt proud at the awards, which was nice.
I did for a second think I was going to win one, never mind two. So yeah, probably just rambled like I'm doing now. But yeah, it's really nice. I always think as well, like I'll jinx myself if I think for a second I might win. So
like, just don't think it. Yeah,
don't think about it.
Oh, bless you. So, what does the future hold now for you? What are your plans?
Wow. Now, I've kind of gone past planning because life's thrown that many things, like curveballs. So now I just think, take each day as it comes, appreciate all the good things. Whatever is going to happen, but I'm just going to try and enjoy every moment of it.
Oh,
amazing. It's nails, isn't it? It's going to be nails.
I'd hope so, yeah. Nails. I meant to ask, are you at Glitterbell's HQ right now?
I am.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So yeah, it'll be something with, I think Glitterbell's have got lots of sneaky secrets up the sleeves.
Oh.
Yes, we did do the fashion show as well, didn't we?
Yes, Lily was telling me about that.
Yeah, that was like the most exciting day of my life. Sorry. Also, scratch party and receiving that is it's like one of the top two best days of my life, as well as getting married and giving birth. But yeah, doing fashion shows I'd never even dreamed of that. So that's why I'm like, I don't know what's in the future because it's beyond my wildest dreams anyway. I feel like I'm in this little pink bubble where everything's good and it's scary a bit because that's how I am. I'm just, so yeah, it's all good. All exciting.
You're doing amazing, honestly. You really are.
I'm just enjoying it, yeah. And I really do think things like Scratch and meeting you and meeting Helena and the fact that you're even covering this is brilliant. And I've seen so many people struggling, and it's really hard because it's so much pressure for people to be under because we're trying to be self-employed, we're trying to juggle a million people, we're also trying to probably run a family or like you've got lives beyond it. It is all encompassing and overwhelming. So I do think and I think obviously the more we understand neurodiversity, the more things will come in place to try and help with it. But it's not just people with neurodiversity that struggle. Like if we're a nail tech, we're not necessarily a business person or a social media person. So just think, yeah, hopefully there's nail tech with what is it? I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean? There's that group for people. There's lots of groups out there for people like who are struggling.
We literally featured one this week called Neurodiversity in Nails. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean. So everybody can share their experiences, can't they? And we can hopefully help each other then. Because I think that's important. Because you don't want people who are amazing to stop doing what they're doing because they're feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's good that there's things like that in place.
Definitely. I think it's so good to have a bit of understanding, whether you're neurodiverse or not. I mean, when I saw those stats, about 50% of beauty pros identify as neurodivergent, I was like, wow, I mean, this is such a huge part of the industry and it's definitely not talked about enough.
No, and talking about forms and things, I know I'm probably going back to a question you asked ages ago, but things like people with dyslexia, I mean, I'm not dyslexic, I don't think, but if somebody asked me to fill a form out, that's quite horrendous. I'm glad we don't have to do checks anymore because I used to have to fill it out around 3 times before I got it all right. If you ask somebody to fill out a really long consultation form whilst waiting for them, can be a bit overwhelming. It might be better if you fill it out for them or you send it to them before they come in or even just, I can remember having a job interview once and I had to write something and I had to say, can I go out of the room because I can't concentrate? And that was before I knew I'd got it. do. But just taking them things into consideration. And people might not want to write down that they've got this, that, or the other going on. But if you just say, is there any accommodations I can make to make you more comfortable? They might feel more comfortable just writing, oh, well, I don't really like noisy environments or whatever.
Yeah.
But I did write down a load of things. I've probably not said any of them.
One thing I was going to ask you, actually, that you sort of just touched on is, so if you were in a situation and you were struggling and obviously someone else was involved and you wanted to sort of explain, how would you recommend going about that? Because I know some people sort of feel a bit awkward about maybe saying that they're neurodivergent and sort of tackling that. They don't know if the other person understands. Like, how would you go about it personally?
Me now, I'm just probably too open about things, but I think maybe, you know, when I got through to the finals with Scratch the first time and I emailed Helena and I was like, I'm terrified. I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to talk to a judge and work at the same time without passing out as well. And you were really, like, lovely with me and understanding. So that's made me, and then obviously winning makes me feel more like I am really doing all right.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah, but so now I'm like, I'll just talk about it because I just think if I talk about it, it might make somebody else feel more comfortable talking about it. So that's what I do, but I'm not saying everybody should just talk about their own personal things going on, but even if you just, like, you can put things in place, like you can get them loop earplugs, can't you, so it kind of out sounds. If you're not comfortable talking about it, you could just say you struggle with certain things, like the sound of your voicing. You could just say, oh, I really struggle with certain noises. You don't have to go into it any more than that, do you? Or really hate filling out forms. Is there any way you can help me with this?
Yeah.
You don't have to say I'm dyslexic or I can't remember my own birthday or what day it is. That's me. I'm like, is it Friday today or Thursday? But yeah, I think if you can help people understand, then they'll accommodate you more.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe. I'm trying to look at my notes to see if I wrote anything else down. But I'll be like, after, I'll be like, I wish I'd have said that. But I don't think there is.
You've been so helpful, honestly. I feel like you've opened up our eyes a lot at Scratch, definitely. And it's just so, we've had so many comments of people saying, oh, like, I totally relate to this and understand this. And that is the most important thing, to have.
No. I mean, it's not nice that they're struggling, but they understand maybe why they're struggling and that there is things that they can do to help themselves and to seek help as well, because you don't have to struggle by yourself, do you?
Yeah, definitely. As you're saying, there's groups. I know there's different training and things that out there that can help people sort of understand things more. So there's lots out there, isn't there?
Yes, definitely. And there's lots more understanding, and I think education is key for anything, isn't it? If you can understand either yourself or somebody else, then you know how to help them.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. You've done amazing. It's been so nice to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
You did it.
No, I didn't say anything too bad.
No, you were great. It's been so insightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much for everything and your support and for being so lovely.
Bless you. Thank you. And we'll talk to you soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye.